Hopefully linked with a move to Saracens and Northampton and perhaps Leicester next season. I hear they're sniffing around. Worcester equally keen to hang on to him. Lewis Deacon, Leicester's skipper today, gathering their first line out. 12 Trees drives it on. Set for another Six Nations with the Saxons, perhaps. Shoot has been busy early on. He could have done with an extra few inches there, but he took it in the end well.
Seems as though Worcester have done their homework, because they're leaving numbers on the blind side for Ben Young, sniping back that way. There's a slight overlap on this open side of the field. Leicester can spot that. Got a chance to attack down that channel.
This is Deacon on the occasion of his 150th Premiership appearances. Landmarks all over the place today. Waldron, the link to Shooter. Away quickly to Aguja, whose try was the final bright light in that sparkling game against the Saints at the beginning of the month. Flood goes through a big gap, finds Matt Smith, and Smith will charge to the line. Try Tigers! Somehow, somewhere, an enormous hole appeared in Worcester's defence. Flood capitalised, Smith scored.
Well, it starts with Aguja's break. Looks like Worcester have drifted well, got the cover in place, but he bounces off so strong in contact, and he gets Leicester on the front foot. Worcester struggle to realign. You can see some of the back three drifting out of position, and Rasmussen flies out of the line to try and take Tuolangi, leaves a dog leg which Flood exploits, and Smith, good poaching on the outside shoulder.
It was a well taken try. Worcester don't concede many, but the team who score more than their fair share have already pierced the defence and piercing the posts. Toby Flood, the perfect 7-point start for the visitors.
As you said, Ben, Rasmussen stepping out the line, because they've obviously pinpointed Tuolangi to stop him getting the go forward. It just creates the space outside. Smith already showed us a few weeks ago against the Saints what kind of a finisher he is.
Bincher on or wherever. Extended Christmas holiday, then Leicester's try was scored by Matt Smith. And again, Leicester's scrum dominant, gathered in by Woods in the end, flung away by Young to Floods to 12 Trees. Again they overlook Tuolangi to release Aguja, who is flying.
Oh, Hamilton was screaming for the kick through. He was in acres of space.
Youngs to Flood, here goes Croft. Eventually brought to the ground by Percival. Youngs again to Flood, who again cuts through and will go on his own to score Leicester's second try. Whenever Leicester have run the ball with pace at Worcester's defence, they've found holes and they've found a second one.
He's answering a few of his critics today, Toby Flood. Bossing the back line well, good decision by 12 Trees to miss out. Here's where Hamilton's screaming for the ball to be kicked through. Doesn't come, ball's cleared out, and look at this line, round the corner, times his acceleration to perfection to take Taumapo out of the game, and then he carries Carlisle over the line with him.
You don't often see tries in the Premiership at 6 ways. Just 7 in all matches so far this season, but we've seen 2 already. And Worcester's defence, which is usually very well drilled by the former England man Phil Larder, is being stretched to breaking here. Leicester have brought on Castro Giovanni for Stankovic. Perry's come off as well, so lots of changes. We will realign them for you once we get the opportunity, but Worcester are not hanging around. One of those changes is Johnny R. He's on for Perry at scrum half. Carlisle holds the ball up for Rasmussen, who does really well to feed the ball out to Abbott.
Not held in the tackle.
Oh, Ben Woods clambering from an offside position. Carlisle stepping through beautifully, taken on by Jones, who's just back on. Worcester's best spell of the match by a mile, and it might lead to their first try. Goldie scores! Where has that come from? from? Stodgy up to this point. That was scintillating.
It's come from momentum. Finally, Worcester on the front foot, clearing out those breakdowns. There's the finish. Nothing wrong with that. That's a try.
Good finish. Joe Carlisle there taking the ball to the line and going through gaps with options and distributing wide. A wonderful finish, well-timed pass from Pennell on the outside channel.
Trevor Fisher is just confirming that that ball was grounded, and we have a sneak preview of what the 12,000 in the ground will get confirmation of. I think there was just a little bit of doubt about Marcel Garvey's right boot, but he managed to stop it from falling into touch, and here comes confirmation of what we already know. Worcester are back in this ball game.
They've got a blueprint as well for how to play for the rest of the game. On the front foot, at pace, with intensity, but the clear out of the breakdown was so much better than anything we saw in the first half. Creates the overlap on the outside, a good finish by Garvey.
Different half, different game, all Worcester.
And Hamilton flies out the line, trying to shut the door on the outside. It's caught in no man's land.
To deal with the speculation surrounding a possible return of Dean Richards this week. Richard Hill, if he can guide his side to something from this match, will feel very happy with life. Croft taking the line out. Youngs feeding Smith. That's the Worcester 22. Youngs again. Worcester preparing to make a change at hooker. Aleki Latui is limbering up down below us. Cole goes through the middle, as does Waldron. Leicester taking the direct route as they look for a direct response.
Stay up.
Youngs, oh, he saw the gap, and so fortunately did the Worcester defence that was plugged in the nick of time.
It's really good forward play from the Tigers, picking and going around the outside, but keeping the legs driving, keeping that momentum, edging ever closer to that line. Youngs has got to be aware for when they step in to defend.
Taken on by Deacon, and there is the response. Typical, archetypal Leicester, drawing the blood, drawing the energy from the defensive line, from Worcester's pack of forwards. Deacon strikes.
We just saw the difference. You see Deacon goes over. Saw that period of play where Worcester didn't really go anywhere, camped on in Leicester's 22. But every time one of those forwards in green shirts picked the ball up, they got some leg drive, got going forward. The defence was always backpedaling.
Yeah. You didn't say take a yellow.
I think that's Carlisle there, in at guard. Talked about Flood's ability to target some of the big boys. Taumapo earlier on. Deacon targets the 10, in at guard, and carries him over the line.
In the meantime, Leicester have made a change. They've taken Ben Woods off, replaced him with Julian Salvi, the Australian. Salvi and the rest of us watching Flood. Can't have the extras before the likes of Lewis Deacon and others go elsewhere. Worcester will be thinking they need points at the other end of the table for other reasons. At the moment, they don't have any. But a try would bring them back within bonus point range, but it's been won back by Ed Slater, who's had another solid game. Flood goes for the kick. Hamilton chases it. Aguja's outside him. Hamilton gathers, lays the ball back. There's Steve Maffey. Switched over for a try against Northampton the last time out. Cole. Gillies was up very quickly.
No!
Youngs again goes for the kick. 12-3 leads the chase. Smith's not far behind. Pennell has it all under control though, and does even more than that. Finds Mullen. 2.5 minutes to go. Leicester have won it back. Loose ball. Will Worcester be made to pay for their ambition? Youngs fired wide by Morris.
It's poor from Leicester. No one took the ball forward at any pace. It just meant the Worcester defend. It's a 5-on-2 and they could just drift easily with it.
Flood to Hamilton. Naffy offered himself. Ball loops into the arms of Smith. Now this is Aguja. He's got some space. If he can gather it, he'll score. That is brilliant from the Argentinian. That may well be a very significant score come May, because that's the bonus point score. Leicester will leave Worcester with a full 5.
Well, exactly, and if Leicester do get in that top 4, Aguja, last 2 games, winning try and bonus point. What a finish this is. A lovely little pass to the outside from Matt Smith, just draws the last defender, and then Aguja, just simple class, wonderful skill, saw the space, and the execution was excellent.
Good little move again, a bit of go forward from Smith, takes the last defender out. The man on the inside was Matt Mullen, who's worked tirelessly all game, but he's never going to compete with the pace of Aguja to get back. Pennell taken out by having to stand there in case he needed to make the tackle. Brilliant finish from the Argentinian.
Outstanding score. Left wing decider against Northampton at the start of the month. Right wing concluder here against Worcester, and the conversion was successful as well, right from the touchline.